And I saw more shingles on the floor. And I was just like, then I called her. I was like, how do you know if your roof has some problem? And she said, have you seen some shingle on the floor? I said, yeah, quite a bit. She's like, Danielle.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And she said, Danielle. And I said, I think my roof, my wood is getting moldy. And she's like, Danielle. I say, I know. But by the way, I'm going on vacation. I don't want to really deal with that. But y'all can come and do what you need to do. And the top was all messed up.
Yes.
So it's not normal for everybody, okay?
No, I know. And it's actually
Kim here in 2007, right in the middle of the crazy crisis. If your heart is not into it, do not do it. That's what I always tell them.
If you're making around 70K, look to be able to qualify for a home somewhere around 250, 275 in that bracket.
Onions and juices and all that, and put some lemon and onion, and you make him drink it, right?
And Alex, all my listings need a video. All of them.
Hey guys, we are back for another episode of Let's Keep It Real. Now, I am your host, Danielle Bilumbu Leach, and I'm here with my bestie.
Yes, Abu Jabi with AMP Lending. How y'all doing?
Great. And this is part 2 of roofing. So what we're going to learn exactly, let me read it to make sure I don't miss anything. I know my voice is weird. Please forgive me. Roof maintenance, insurance, and preparing home for sale. So if you have the intention to purchase or buy a home and you have question or wondering about roof and you want to also know a little bit more what's going on with insurance and roofing, right now is the episode for you. But also we have part 1, so make sure to go look at part 1 so you can understand also what we'll be talking about now in part 2. And now we are here with our favorite guest, Yolanda Garza.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
great. So now let's get going. So my first question is, how do we know when it's time to replace your roof and what are the common signs of damage?
When you walk outside and you see a shingle on the ground, you know it's time to replace it. No.
So hold on for that. Let me answer to that. You know, you have people like me, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you have a car and your car is damaged and you don't know, right? I just know how to drive the car.
Yeah.
Like I told you last time when my car, my tire blew up on me, I hear psst. I was like, oh, that's a weird sound. And I keep driving. And I stopped and I got out the car. I was like, oh, that was the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the guy asked me when I called the insurance to come and help me. And they're like, so what happened? I say, I don't know. I just hear bzzz. I just know how to drive the car. So it's the same thing for the roof. One time I got out of my house and I saw one shingle on the floor. I was like, oh, what is that? Oh, yeah, that looks like a shingle. I looked at the roof. I looked at the shingle. I was like, looks like everything is fine. I didn't say anything. Then we had another weather problem, and I saw a few more shingle on the floor. I'm like, oh, I picked them up, I put them on the side, and I told my husband, I think there's a lot of shingle on the floor. Maybe we need to do something about it, right? My husband was like, no, it will be fine. We don't see no leak. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. And then we have Beryl. They came in. And I saw more shingles on the floor. And I was just like, then I called her. I was like, how do you know if your roof has some problem? And she said, have you seen some shingle on the floor? I said, yeah, quite a bit. She's like, Danielle.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And she said, Danielle. And I said, I think my roof, my wood is getting moldy. And she's like, Danielle. I say, I know. But by the way, I'm going on vacation. I don't want to really deal with that. But y'all can come and do what you need to do. And the top was all messed up.
Yes.
So it's not normal for everybody, okay?
No, I know. And it is. So there's a couple of things that you can do. You really shouldn't wait till you see shingles in your yard, although it can happen, especially if a really strong storm blows through. And we just, there's a lot of things that we can't control, but there are things that we can. If your roof is getting older, go ahead and get it inspected. If there's a roofing company coming around and knocking on your door and saying, hey, we're giving free roof inspections, go ahead and have it inspected. It's free. See what they have to say, right? You don't have to hire them, but you can have somebody hop on your roof and take a look. Unfortunately, a lot of people wait until they see water and they see a spot.
I'm guilty.
Yes, a lot of people do that. The problem with that is that once you see water in your ceiling, you're more than likely going to have more damage in the attic. Not only that, but you're probably going to have wood rot in your decking, which means that there's going to be more repairs that need to be done. So, I mean, those are very, very common ways to know that, hey, I got to get a roofer out. But once your roof hits 5 years, I would say team up with a reputable roofer, have them hop on the roof.
Yeah.
And 10 years, definitely go ahead and get a roofer out there. Once you hit 15 years,
it's time.
You're risking the insurance company saying, hey, we're not going to help you replace the roof, or B, this is normal wear and tear. You got to replace the roof out of your pocket, but also we're dropping you, and then nobody will pick you up.
Oh, wow.
And then the insurance company sometimes do inspection and then just drop you if they realize you don't maintain your roof. I saw another realtor in another state, and then she had little, these green stuff they grow on top of your roof.
Algae?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, algae.
Yeah. And they say they saw some, I guess by satellite or some, they sent her a picture and a letter. They say, you're not maintaining your roof, we're dropping you.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. You can do what's called a soft wash. If your area is known for algae growth in the shingle, you can do a soft wash on it. Okay. And that will help with all of that. Some of the shingles also carry warranties for algae. So just know your warranty on that roof. And a lot of it is very dependent on the age of the roof.
Yeah.
But, yeah, be proactive about it.
And then when you get the insurance, what's some of the things you have to make sure you have into your policy for your roof?
So
double
the
check
homeowners, the homeowners policy is very important. So there's two different types of policies. There's the actual cash value and there's the replacement value. The replacement value is definitely going to help you a lot more financially replace that roof. You also want to understand your deductible. You want to understand whether or not your deductible is going to increase because of a named storm. So the best thing to do is to have somebody that understands the process help you with the claim, because we're going to give you pointers on how to best file, but also how to avoid having to come out of pocket more than what you have to.
Yeah.
So the things is before for a buyer right now, which advice you could give to a buyer if they're shopping around for insurance, and then because it's true you need to have insurance to cover the value of the home in case it burned down and all that. But a lot of the common things that people do with their home insurance is to replace the roof, right? This is the biggest things that often, I'm talking for people living in Houston area because of all the weather things that are going on in here. So what some of the things that a buyer need to really look is the cash value better. And sometimes some insurance asks you to have a 1 or 2% deductible. So which one is better? Because some people want to pay less. So the less is your premium, the higher will be your deductible. I learned that the hard way with my own insurance because we're trying to have a very small payment for the roof. And then when it was time to file a claim, we're like, oh my God, I have to pay $11,000?
Right.
That's crazy, right? So what would you advise a buyer?
So my advice would be is to make sure that your insurance agent is explaining the policy to you, but also looking out for your best interest. Don't be house poor. Understand that in order to protect your house, you're going to need a good homeowner's policy, because being in the greater Houston area, we will run into hailstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes, and you do not want to be sitting there with a hole in your roof or a leak and not be able to replace or repair that roof because you didn't get the correct policy. Understand that in the first year on a new build, a lot of times that homeowner's policy is going to be ridiculously cheap because there is no home value, appraisal district home value on that home. So they can get away with a very, very low out-of-pocket policy. Understand all the pitfalls and make sure that your insurance agent and your real estate agent is just guiding you through that whole process. Understand what your deductible is going to be. Yeah. Make sure that you have that deductible in a savings account so that there's no hesitation when you do need that homeowner's policy. Yeah. Now, if you're walking into a new home, let's pray that you will not need that homeowner's policy for at least the first 5 years, but still be prepared. Yeah. As they say, what do you prepare for the worst, hope for the best, pray for the best?
Yeah. But talking about that, sitting with a hole in your roof. So when you buy a house, please read your inspection report. If the inspection report is the roof is questionable, contact the roofer to come and inspect the roof for you. Because my husband, when he bought his first home, he was very, very young. Hopefully he won't be mad at me for me telling the story. He was very, very young when he bought his first home. He was in another state, just graduated from college and just had a new job and then, decided to purchase a home, a duplex. And then a tenant was renting on one side and he was living on the other side. He thought that was great. That was a very good idea because the rent was covering the full mortgage. But then he had in a home inspection and his father told him, hey, son, make sure to check the roof. Double check that. I guess the realtor he had did not really inform him and teach him the right way. So he didn't pay attention to the inspection report. And then the inspection report was very clear. The roof was questionable, but he didn't understand the jargon that were in there. And then it was not explained to him. So then one day he got into his place and it was raining. Literally, he had to have bucket. And the water was just dripping straight in the house. But he didn't have the budget, right, to fix that roof and file a claim and all that because it was pre-existing and it was part of his inspection report. He didn't have the chance to negotiate that back with the seller after the fact, right? Yeah. And then, but lucky him, he had a new promotion. He had to move out, because of work benefits and stuff like that. He was able to resell the house, but of course he disclosed the roof has issue. Whoever took over, pay him the price that he paid for the home, and then he was able to move on. But he was lucky. Not everybody's lucky like that. Yeah. I met another lady who called me, and the same thing, an older lady that was her retirement home. And then she called me to see what I can do, but unfortunately I cannot help. It was too late. You already bought the house. The house has a lot of problem. Same thing, she didn't understand the inspection report. The inspector didn't really express to her what was the problem with the house. And then the realtor didn't really went through much with her. She was just older and frail, and she saved her money to buy a beautiful home for herself. And then after less than a year in the house, the roof has a problem, the plumbing has a problem, the electrical was a problem. It was a flipper who purchased the home and did all the work, but he put lipstick on a pig, and then she could not deal with it, and she just wanted to get rid of the property.
Wow. She said he put lipstick on a pig.
Wow, you heard that,
just in case you didn't understand that.
Yes, literally lipstick on a pig. And then there's nothing I really can do. I told her if you try to sell that, you're going to sell it at a loss. She bought it when the market was crazy and the premium. So she's going to lose her money. And then so really, really pay attention. First, do a home inspection. Second, talk. If you don't understand what the inspection report is saying, talk to the inspector and ask him questions, just like you're 3 years old. Break it down for me. What does that mean? So they can let you know, and you will know if you should have a roofer to come over. Yeah. Because you don't want to be in this kind of...
Have some resources, know a good realtor, know a good roofer, know a good attorney, and that way if there's any question, you can just give them, hey, I'm about to buy a house, this is what the inspection report, okay, I have so many people, call me up and I'm like, hey, send me the report, let me take a look at it. Yeah. It costs nothing for just some advice. And, if you know somebody and you trust them, their advice is invaluable if they're in the industry.
Yeah. And with the way inflation is going and everything's going right now, the cost of things are high. So with deductibles for clients, how are roofing companies able to help with, helping them finance?
So the deductible, there's no getting around it. The homeowner is responsible for the deductible.
Is
Period.
the financing option available out there?
We don't offer financing, but that is expected for you to come out of pocket to pay your part for that roof.
Okay.
Now, the insurance company doesn't care if your parents help you out. They're not the loan company, right? So however you get that deductible, it doesn't really matter. If you have to go to your bank and get a signature loan, nobody's going to ask, how you received those funds. Bottom line, the homeowner's responsible for it.
For the deductible.
That's it. That's why you need to be aware of what the deductible is, and you also need to be very aware of what your insurance policy says. Your deductible will be for just a regular storm, and what it will be for a named storm. Because a lot of times it will go from 1% or 2% up to 5% on a named storm. And that's when you want somebody that's knowledgeable in your corner so that they can say, hey, we're not going to file it under barrel, okay? We're going to file it under this date. And we have certain software, we have technology that will help us avoid a lot of the pitfalls and also avoid you coming out of pocket more than what you need to.
But question, is there some kind of a gap insurance? Could you have another insurance to help you pay for the deductible? Let's say the deductible is $12,000 or $15,000. Could you have another insurance that you can have on top to help you pay for that? Does that exist?
Yes,
how does that work?
It does, yeah. And just talk to your insurance agents about that. They can explain. But there is gap insurance out there. But still, bottom line is you're going to have to come out of pocket for that deductible. And then I believe you have to turn around and file with the gap insurance.
Okay.
So just have that set aside. If you want extra protection, absolutely. Talk to your insurance agent about that. Have them explain that to you.
Okay. And what tips can you give consumers as far as trying to have the lifespan of their roof extended? How can they take care of it?
I would say the number one thing would be to take care of the trees around your house. That's always going to be my after Hurricane Beryl, what I saw.
There's a lot of trees.
A lot of trees. It looked like a war zone in some of the neighborhoods. Yeah. And a lot of them were very healthy trees. So there was little that people could do. So just understand, if you have 100, I literally saw 100-foot tree on someone's house. Understand that Mother Nature, she does not discriminate.
She does not play.
She does not play either.
Yeah.
And she remind you who is the queen.
And that 100-foot tree ended up on someone's house, and they didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
they didn't realize that the policy had lapsed.
How come it has lapsed? I thought you paid the insurance up front.
So they pay, so they were up for renewal. And they didn't see the bill, and it had literally just lapsed the money, and they owned the house outright. They bought it cash, so they send you a bill, and it had literally just lapsed like a month before. I saw 2 people like that during Hurricane
So what happened for them?
Not good things.
Yeah.
So the roofing company help finance maybe?
Yes, there are some. Again, we don't offer that financing, but the first thing that we're going to recommend, especially during a hurricane, is FEMA.
Yeah.
And then there's
That's
also other resources as well. I think there's a small loan, but I think you have to be a business. But anyways, there are other resources that you can call on that are going to give you very, very low interest rate. Or like with FEMA, if you don't have the insurance to cover it, they will help. It's definitely a process, and I did help them with that. But it's going to be a waiting game. Ultimately, the best thing that you can do to protect yourself is have a good homeowners and policy in place and understand it. As far as your property, take care of your trees. There's going to be some things that you can't avoid, but there's going to be some things that you can. You don't want your trees hanging on and, resting on the roof. You don't want a dead tree hanging out in your backyard. That's probably going to go down, one of the first things that will go down during a storm.
Okay.
So and you will be held responsible. So if you have a dead tree on your property and it hits your home, you're very likely going to be responsible for that.
Why the insurance company will come and check the tree?
If they see that it was a dead tree.
How do they know if it was a dead tree?
So when you have contractors that go out, and if they send somebody, the adjuster, yes. Tick, tick.
So make sure to remove that tree before the adjuster gets it.
Well, it's too late if it's sitting on your roof.
Yeah.
You know, take care of your property. That's the best thing that you can do.
That's true.
Have good policy and take care of your property.
A lot of people don't realize, it's great. Homeownership is an amazing thing to do, but it also comes with responsibility.
It's a responsibility.
And then taking care of
maintenance.
the properties, maintenance. Yep.
It's just not the mortgage. It's just not the mortgage.
Yep. Make sure your pool is taken care of. Don't have a green pool in your backyard. Don't, take care of your lawn. The HOA will come after you. We learned about HOA. Make sure you watch that episode.
Yeah.
I'm advertising right now.
I love the HOA. Don't we love them?
We in love with them.
So what happens when you get a new roof? Does that help you with your insurance policy?
That's a really good question. Yes. So there are different types of shingles that have a class impact. So typically, and we don't know who or which insurance company. But a lot of times insurance companies will give you a discount on your homeowner's policy. The better the shingle, the larger the discount. So a class 3 impact shingle, they usually start with that with the first discount. If you have a class 4, you probably get a better discount. But that's something that you need to discuss with your agent and your insurance company. Once the roof is installed and paid for, the manufacturer will send you the warranty certificate. You call into your insurance company. You provide them with that certificate. And hopefully, luckily, if they offer a discount, you get that discount.
Okay.
Easy as that.
Okay.
So what should someone consider regarding the age of the roof? So if you're a buyer and you're trying to purchase a home, and if you have a 10-year roof,
Just be aware of the age. A lot of times a 10-year roof is going to be good, but go ahead and have a roofer hop on that roof and give you a report. Yeah. It's on the seller's disclosure, correct?
Yes.
It's on the seller's, it's on the seller's disclosure. Read the seller's disclosure.
Sometimes it's unknown. Sometimes the seller purchased. Oftentimes, if you're a buyer and you get a seller's disclosure, and you see on the seller's disclosure that the seller put unknown, I will have a roofer right away.
No.
Yeah.
Just make sure during the inspection, but also contact the roofer right away. Yep. Because if the person, and then ask your realtor to check how long that person was living in the house.
Right. Go to the appraisal district. Do some digging. Again, have the number, contact information of somebody in the industry, whether it be a real estate agent, an insurance agent, a roofer, whatever. You have a question, call your realtor. Hey, why is it saying unknown? So when was the house built? The house was built 37 years ago. They don't remember when they replaced the roof.
Well, sometimes it's because the person may be living there for 3, 4, 5 years, and when you purchased the house, maybe you bought it from an investor, replaced. Maybe it was a foreclosure, maybe it was an estate sale, and then maybe they just bought it, but they just don't know. They don't remember. Right. So ask the neighbors. Like one of the home investment property we purchased from my husband, it was unknown on the seller's disclosure. So I asked the neighbor, which was very nosy. You need those nosy neighbor. Not against you, but when you're trying to buy the house. Hopefully they'll be nosy with you.
Information.
Yeah. And then I asked them and I said, hey, do you have any idea when the neighbor replaced the roof? And he said, oh, yeah, during Hurricane Ike, all the neighborhood will all replace the roof. So I have an idea how old the roof was when we purchased the home. So it wasn't too old after that. But yeah, just ask the neighbor, ask people around. You always have somebody around you that will tell you if they know.
And if there's any doubt, definitely. If you're buying a house, I would just say go ahead and get a roofer and we don't charge.
Yeah.
We don't charge.
It's a free service.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Of course, you get the inspection, but also get a roofer out there.
Yeah. And on the seller's side, if you're a seller, what would you advise a seller who's trying to sell his home?
So this is what I always tell sellers, and this is what I always tell real estate agents. One of the top things that sells a home is a new roof, right? So we look at what? We look at the foundation.
Yep.
We look at the AC,
Yep.
right? We look at the structure.
Yep.
We look at the roof.
Yep.
We look at the roof. If you want to sell that home, the most beautiful thing, if a homeowner is knowledgeable and they're looking at all the right things, the home buyer is knowledgeable and they're looking at all the right things, one of the most beautiful things that they can read is that this house has a new roof.
Yeah.
And it's a selling point. It helps to increase the value of the home. The appraiser will put that in consideration. And your insurance will be slightly lower if the roof is brand new. All of that is very important. So if you are a seller and you thinking, should I replace the roof? Should I not replace the roof? Just know if, you should win if you replace the roof.
And more than likely, if the roof is less than 5 years old, more than likely that warranty can be transferred into your name. So you
That's
can
a good
go,
note.
Yeah, so
That's
you
a good
can go
note.
to your insurance company and say, hey, I have a class 3 impact shingle and the warranty is in my name. Here we go. Please give me my discount.
Yeah. And we've been seeing in the market now, home insurance has skyrocketed. It's been going up. It's been going up higher and higher and higher. Do roofing companies have anything to do with that?
We have very little control over that, unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
It
It's
has-
all of your fault.
So
Let's be honest, okay?
People get
The
so upset
roof
about the
price
insurance.
start getting high.
No,
And then
no.
people in Texas, roofer, are making a lot of money, and then the prices keep going up.
You know who's making a
Keep
lot of
going
money?
up.
The insurance companies are making a lot of money.
But the
I
insurer don't
promise
want to
you.
insure people anymore because replacing the roof is so expensive.
Well, because they don't want to lose their profits.
Everybody's in cool
I said what I
against
said.
you.
They don't want to lose their profits. No, we have very little to do with that.
Okay.
Actually, it's the supplies, supply and demand that has more to do with the cost of the roofing and the roofing materials than the roofers do. We mark it up a certain amount. Yes, absolutely. But based off of how much those supplies, right after Hurricane Beryl, the cost of supplies went up because there was more of a demand and there was less supplies, and we actually had less, like the different colors of the shingle, right? We had less to choose from because the demand was so high. We have very little to do with that. Tell you what really affects the cost of insurance is where you're at, your zip code, the number of people that are filing claims.
In that area.
So, and people are like, oh no, I don't want to file a claim because my insurance is going to, guess what? Your insurance is going to increase anyways.
Might as well join them.
So if you're going to file the claim and get as much as you can out of that claim.
Yeah.
Get as much as you can and then try not to file a claim again. Insurance is there for a reason, but we don't need to be filing every other year. That's going to affect. But there is definitely a time and a place to file. Get somebody that is knowledgeable, that's in the industry, that will walk you through, help you out with it. You get hit by a storm, the insurance is going to cover the roof, the fence, the landscaping, the furniture. Go ahead and take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So the thing is, right now, we're still suffering from what happened in July and in May. The storm, the tropical storm of May and the hurricane in July, right? So if you're trying to replace your roof, the price is still very high. So probably you should wait a little bit, you think?
Only if you're paying cash. The insurance companies, they account for all of that. They account for the supplies, materials. They account for labor. The insurance company, if you've got the right policy, the replacement value policy, you should have enough to replace that roof. Now, if you're paying cash, then yeah, different times of the year, the supplies
Probably
are gonna
November,
be-
December will
yeah,
be better.
if you're paying cash. Yeah, when the
Okay.
weather cools.
Okay, but that's
Otherwise, if you're using your insurance, get that roof replaced ASAP. Yeah, no, because if you have water damage, if you see any amount of water is it can go into cracks. It can go into every part of your home. So if you have any kind of potential damage, you want to get that corrected ASAP. Otherwise, it's just going to be it just snowballs into much bigger issues, and then we get into mold and
Question. Let's say, for example, somebody suffer from what just happened in July, and then they didn't necessarily realize what was going on with their roof because they're too busy. And then, is it too late to file a claim right now because it happened in July and we October?
No. So I believe, and again, ask your insurance agent and read your policy, but I believe you have 1 to 2 years to file a claim after the date of loss.
They will not come and say, "Oh, now you file now."
Yeah, no. They still, you still have time.
Okay.
You still have time. If you experience something and you're watching this and you're like, yeah, go ahead, give me a call. We're okay. Sure. You still have time to file. I think it's up to 1 or 2 years, not 100%. Again, ask your agent on that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great. Hopefully you guys learned a lot because I know I did.
I did too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you?
So I'm with Over the Top Roofing. We have a Facebook page. We have Google reviews. We're in the Better Business. We're A+ company in Better Business Bureau. You can always, I love it when people contact me directly, 832-948-6026. Call or text. If I don't answer for some reason, text me. I'm very good at responding.
Okay. Well,
all right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to follow us on all our social media. And then let us know what you think. Have you been in a position when you have to file a claim and it didn't work out? Maybe you would like to have a second opinion. Or have you been in a position, what's some of the crazy things that happened with your roof? We want to hear from you. Let's chat about it. Thanks for watching. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Kim here in 2007, right in the middle of the crazy crisis. If your heart is not into it, do not do it. That's what I always tell them.
if you're making around $70K, look to be able to qualify for a home somewhere around $250, $275 in that bracket. As
onions and juices and all that, and put some lemon and onion, and you make him drink it, right?
And Alex, all my listings need a video. All of them.